Hi everyone, this is Ushin from Climax, and we're doing our Weiss Schwarz weekly podcast. This week we will cover February 9th to February 13th of 2015. And joined by me here today is the Night Channel.
Yo, been a while.
Yep, and he will read through all the card of the days.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, our first card is Officer Joseph. It's a level 3 cost 2, 8500 power, yellow character with 2 soul and 1 soul trigger with the modified trait. If you have 2 or more of this card in your waiting room, this card loses a level in your hand. If all characters you control have the modified trait, this card gets 1500 power and cannot be targeted by your opponent's effects. When this card is played from hand to stage, you can heal 1.
It's not nothing special.
I do want to point out that this has the potential, when this card is best, is when you're able to play this immediately after you refresh. Let's say you refresh and then you discard 2 copies of this from your hand. Then you basically got your refresh. At the same time, you compress enough that you can pay 2 stock without having to. This is. Granted, it's a lot harder to do than the typical thing, and it was not as ridiculously easy as pre-ban Kosaki in Nisekoi. Right? Obviously, nothing will be that easy, but at least this has the potential to be a good card. I like that it's a healer. I like that it's a solid 10,000. I guess my only problem is, can you actively get this card out in time? Can you refresh and then get 2 copies into the discard long enough to get him into play? And that's really my only potential beef with it. Other than that, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's not that big of a downside, even with the power minus, because it's all modified. You're obviously not gonna mix roaches, and you could, but I'm pretty sure they have modified trait as well. So
the roaches?
Oh no, they don't.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. Never mind. Of course they don't. Anyways, most people won't be mixing roaches and modified trait together.
I think this is the first yellow card we've seen. Is that right?
I don't believe so.
I haven't been really active in the whole card of the day. I'll be honest. So I haven't been really keeping up.
Bad memory.
So I can't remember if this is the first yellow card or not. But if this is what's to show for yellow, this is actually kind of interesting. I want to see where they take this. So we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yep. So
all right, let's move on. Member of Annex 1, Joseph, is a level 0, cost 0, 2500 power yellow character with the modified trait. When this character is alone on the field, this card gets +1 level and +1500 power.
Damn it.
Standard alone character.
Yep. And
interesting that it's in yellow. All right, and 229K vanilla.
Both of these, there's not much to talk about.
They're just Josephs.
They're just Joseph. They're pretty good. The 0-0 one, since there's a lot of suicides right now, and you rather have that level 1 than just a 4K that's level 0.
Of course. There's pluses and minuses to everything. Some people will like the +1 level, +1 1500. Some people like the flexibility of being able to do it with one other character, and it really depends on the person's playstyle. I think this is a good card. Don't run it more than 3. As for the vanilla, we'll see.
Vanillas, yeah, just there's not much to talk about. Some people like 2-2, some people don't.
Yeah,
and
I'm in the camp of actually liking them, though.
Same here.
I can attest that quite a few other people that we play with don't. So
it's a debate between 2-1s and 2-2s.
Well, actually, I don't like 2-1s, but that's another topic.
Same here.
That's a
that's a different topic.
Yeah.
But
I
mentioned that last
week.
week.
We can actually talk about it when it comes time for us to release our how to play video, or at least deck building.
Whenever that is.
Our deck building video, actually.
One day that will come.
All right, so moving on, we have Officer Michelle. This is a level 2, cost 1, 5000 power blue character with the modified and bug traits. During your opponent's turn, this card gives global level support. This is 500 times the level of that character. And As an active ability, you can pay 2 and dress this to return every card in your waiting room to your deck, then shuffle your deck. Basically, a pay 2 to essentially heal, but unlimited times.
Yep.
Because of this, it's situational. I like the fact that it's a global level assist. I'm not sure how viable that will be because a lot of the things that make the set good so far seem to want to have power during your turn.
Not
Because
really.
we have now what? We have 3 clock kickers that are shown.
Yep.
Right.
But the clock kickers can get power from their Climax combo. Other cards.
Yeah, of course.
So...
But every little bit helps. I mean, if you're running 2 of these in the back row, for example, right, then you're not getting any power from these guys during your turn, and every little bit of power helps.
I guess, but
even if you get a 500 power thing, right? That is the difference between reversing an asana and dying to self-sacrifice.
Right. Just to make a note, she had a counter from last week that's like repeatable, so it's just pretty interesting to have the second effect here. Just saying. And overall, I think it's a pretty good card. It's
all right. I think if you're going to run it, you're going to run it for that secondary ability. I'm pretty sure we're going to find a better level 2 support sometime, and if we don't, well, then I guess we have to run that.
Yep.
All right, so moving on. Blast and Michelle. This is a level 1, cost 0, 4,500 power. Blue character with the modified and bug trait. When you activate an activated ability once per turn, this card gets 1,500 power until the end of the turn. And this has character discard encore.
It's pretty good.
It's alright. I don't think it's actually a good card.
Well, I don't like character encores on 1/0s because their power seems pretty weak in this case.
Well, here's what I see, right? Character encores basically help keep a character alive. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Well, yeah,
right?
the encore.
No, but what you say about 1/0s, I think it's situational. I think most 1/0s, yeah, I think having character encore on them is not a great idea. But if you have it on characters that can reach a high power level, like for example, the Umi from the trial deck in Love Life, the first trial deck, right?
Yep.
That thing hit 8,500, and then it was just 4,500 on defense during the opponent's turn, but had character encore.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So something like that, I think, is well worth to have character encore.
Yeah, but in this case, it's only once per turn. You can't stack the first ability, so it's a bit.
Well, basically, all that says is that you have to have a 1/1 to get over this, right? Most 1/1s peak out around 6k, 6.5, 7k base before support.
Yeah, but this is a 1/06k. Might as well just play a 1/17.
No, but no. During the opponent's turn, that's the thing, right? During the opponent's turn, when you play a counter, the normal 1/0 counter becomes a 3k counter with this character. So you can't really say that it's just a 6k because it's gonna get something or just be a 4,500. That ability is a threat.
Okay.
Right.
It's a more defensive.
It's a defensive card, and I just
style,
I don't like the synergy between the two abilities. But I guess if you don't use the counter, then you can at least use the character for encore, especially if you don't have enough power to get over. I'm kind of hoping for a 2,500 counter for the set, so that way this card can get up to 8.5. But I don't think is there.
The only counter for her right now, I think it's the recycle counter, which is a 2/1.
No. I'm talking about 1/1.
Yeah, that one. 1/1s. I don't think there is one. I think there is one. I think it was like 3k.
It doesn't matter for color right now. I mean, I don't see any color specific stuff or name specific stuff yet, besides Officer Joseph. But that's another thing.
Yep.
So yeah, I think this card. I think we'll see some more cards, especially the counters, to see what she has to work with. It could be a staple, but at this point, I'm ready to throw it out as not that good at this point in time.
Mm-hmm. Until we see more level 1 counters. So. Yeah.
Okay.
Not much for me to say.
All right. So the next card. And this card, when I was going through the cards of the day, this creeps me out, and I have no idea why. I haven't watched the anime, so maybe that's it. But this bugs me, and no pun intended. Terraformers, over there and over here.
Everywhere.
Isn't like Achikochi? Like it's basically like it's there and
Yep, Achikochi.
is that what it says?
No,
No.
it's sort of like that, but I was like,
Yeah. So my translation would be then
is it
terraformers over there and over here.
sort of?
All right. So red. It's a red climax. It's a draw one 2k1 to one character and has two soul as a trigger. I did not see any climax combos with this.
No, there is. I don't know why they just put this climax in there.
Hmm.
I'm not sure why the bug looks, on good terms with Michelle, but I probably need to finish the anime and find out.
Shiny. That's all I gotta say about
Yeah,
it for now. All right.
yeah.
Those those born from disaster terraformer. This is a level 2 cost 2 5500 power blue character with the bug trait. This card gives a global 1500 power to other cards with terraformer in the name. And when you play the climax, Black Beetle, Disease and the Worms, and this card is standing, you may pay one, ditch one, and set this to rest. If you do, search your deck for any level 2 or lower terraformer, play it onto the stage in anywhere you like, and then shuffle your deck. And Black Beetle, Disease and the Worms is a 1k1 gate trigger. Oh boy.
Pretty good.
I'm not the only one liking this card, right?
No, everyone likes this card.
Obviously the only problem is that it's a support, but it's a 2/2, and 2/2 supports are you really have to save up for it.
Yeah.
So basically, you probably would want to be running the Terraformer from the trial deck because that's a trial deck exclusive as far as I remember.
Yes, it is, but there are other terraforming cards that can
Well,
work
I mean, like
without
as
the
an
trap.
example from
Yeah.
what we know,
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
zeros definitely, and just you want to just spam them, and because the event allows you to spam them more, right? That's why I was saying like just
Yep.
those ones, but I'm pretty sure there are some other ones in the booster that you can use too. Um, Being able to search up another level 2. Now, I think, in my opinion, that one of the key things to search out is you play one of them and you search out a second one.
Yep. That is definitely what you should
But
do.
then once you start doing that, then you can start I don't know, like
Storm.
doing the next card.
Doing the next level 2.
Yeah, this card is a threat to humanity, Terraformer. It's a green character, so we can tell where the Terraformers are, green and blue. Level 2 cost 2 character with 6,000 power and the bug trait. For every other character with Terraformer in its name, this card gets 1,000 power, and when this reverses its opponent in battle, if you have 4 or more other characters with Terraformer in the name, you may pay 2 to kick at the clock.
It's pretty good.
So what's its max power?
10k.
What? No, 13k.
No, well, max. Yeah, in that sense.
Right?
Yeah,
Because
the
you want to
same.
be searching these out with the 2/2s.
Yeah.
Like this seems really sick, really.
It is sick.
If you can get like this is obviously run as a 4 of, and if you're playing the Terraformer deck, actually maybe not 4 of, maybe just 3 of, because these are all cost 2s. You don't want to be overloading your deck with
It's
cost
pretty
2s.
high cost, and you got to pay to kick the clock as well, and you're probably gonna have to rely on a really conservative level 0 and level 1.
Okay, fair enough. But here's the benefits of this. First off, that's a cheaper cost than Nico, right?
Yeah.
I'm using that because you're a Love Live player. One of the things I think here is that that is actually pretty cheap, despite it only working during one of the turns. And secondly, this card is insane for power, like 13,000 before
13K.
climaxes with the ideal setup. That's kind of a thing, especially because in a Terraformer deck you want only Terraformers on the board.
Yep.
Like
So,
this looks
it's
really
huge
good.
strat.
Like you can essentially skip your level 3 and just run these.
Mm-hmm.
Looks really good. I don't really have anything bad to say about it other than that it's 2 cost, and that 2 cost you sometimes just can't pull out because your supports are going to be 2 cost. These are going to be 2 cost, but both of them are good in their own way. So
But just remember, your level 1 game is just tapping to search, swarming the field, and you can just hit for stock. You don't really care.
yeah, true enough.
So
All right, so next card, Skinhead type Terraformer. Oh, here we go. Here's a 1/0. Let's see what it does. It's a 4500 power blue character with the bug trait. When your opponent plays a climax onto their climax border, this card gets 2k until the end of the turn. And when this card comes into play from your hand, this card gets X times 500, where X is the number of Terraformar cards. Well, specifically name cards with Terraformar in the name in it. Unfortunately, I think the Swarm card is better.
Well, if you're going against a deck that relies heavily on Climax combos at level 1, as long as they play one, they might find themselves being unable to run over this card.
No, because this card only reaches to 6500.
Yeah.
And
but...
the Swarm can get up to that as well, easily enough.
Okay. I guess.
And this doesn't have the stupid requirement. Like, your opponent doesn't play a Climax, this card is just crap.
Okay, yeah.
No, this card is not a good card because of the Swarm card. Get your TDs, guys.
Get your TDs. Yep.
Alright, next card. Silkworm type Terraformar. Level 0, cost 0, 2k power, green character with a bug and Oh, there are some modified traits in the Terraformars.
Yeah.
When this comes into play, you may take the top 3 cards of your deck and put them into your waiting room. When this hits the waiting room from your stage, you may pay 1 and ditch 1. If you do, search your deck for a character with Terraformar in its name. So basically, this is a nice starter attacker.
Yep. Did you need more level 0s?
Of course.
I'm pretty sure there will.
There's gotta be some more.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a vanilla.
Yep, and you probably want to run quite a few.
Yeah, because you want everything to be Terraformar, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the first event and our next clock kicker. My goodness. If you have 5 Terraformars on the field, this is a 3/4 event that's green. You can choose 2 of them and put them to rest. If 2 characters are rested in this way, choose any of your opponent's level 3 or lower characters and send it and kick it to the clock. This can target back row, by the way, guys.
Yep.
Hey, Shiroi. Bye.
No, like Terraformers have anything to, they don't have burns, so...
That's true. It seems to be that they're all about clock kick, which is kind of interesting.
Clock kick. Yep, so pretty good card. Again, with the green, obviously high cost. What are you going to do?
3/4 is good enough. 3/4 to guarantee a damage, right?
Yep, guaranteed damage.
Technically 3/5 because you have to rest 2 characters, and resting 2 characters counts as a cost in stock. So it's technically a 3/5 event, but you rested 2, so it's only 3/4. But the ability to kick any character to clock, even back row, that's, I think, worth it.
Yep.
It's free damage. Play this event, deal a damage that you can't cancel. Take it. Don't run this at more than 2-0, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Unless they have some really good level 0 that you can play tons of or something like that, then it's a bit.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, Devil's Bloodline. Oh boy, do I have something to say about this card. Level 1, cost 1, blue event, and it's a counter event. Choose one of your characters and place it in the waiting room. If you do, 2 Terraformar characters gain the following ability until the end of the turn. When this card hits the waiting room from the stage, place it back in its original position in rest.
Everyone lives.
All right. Do you think this is a good card or not?
Very good.
No.
What?
Okay. All right. Let's go down to basics here. The first thing you're doing is you're spending a card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
You're spending a card to just activate this ability. You're also spending 1 stock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Then you have to sacrifice one of your characters to allow 2 of your characters to come back into play rested.
Yep.
Okay. So what you're essentially doing is you're trading this, another character that you already played, and 1 stock to basically double hand Encore these characters. Granted, it's not the same as Encore, I get that, but that's basically what it is. That is highly inefficient. Because if you're running actual hand Encore, then this card does not actually work for Hand Encore. And if you don't want to get rid of a character, um, then discard like what would you do on this end if you only need to save one character?
You just don't play it.
Right?
In that case, you don't play it. But in most, what I'm thinking is because it's a swarm deck, you don't necessarily have the power. In some cases, you don't have the power to beat their opponent level ones, and you can use this to keep your swarm field up.
Well, here's the problem I have with that, right? What we've seen, from the Swarm deck is that they do well when they have 5 on the field. If they have 5 on the field, good things happen. So let's say that we have those 3 of the clock kickers, terraformers in the front row, and 2 of the 1500 global assists at the back row, right?
Yep.
And then your opponent presents a field where they're able to take out all 3 of your front row.
Yep.
That's the best case scenario. How often does that happen versus that field?
Mm.
You're also losing a front row attacker in that case because you want to keep your supports. And that's the other thing I have with this. Either you lose a support or you lose a front row attacker because your supports typically don't go to the front row unless it's a swarm card. And if you're running the swarm card from the trial deck, then this card is excusable. But this card is not a good card. It is playable, but not good.
I don't know.
Because you're sacrificing a character on stage, and that's my main problem with it. I get the whole swarm thing, but you have to remember the most successful swarm deck, which was Noise, gave ways to add cards to hand. Essentially, right? I mean, like, let's get Noise and add it to hand. Let's get Noise and put it on the field, and we have level 2 Noise triggers and level 1 Noise stuff and all that fun stuff.
Okay.
This card doesn't help in that way. It's great for saving characters that you really want to save without stock costs or encoring.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing this, for example, to save one character, right?
It's not worth it.
You basically did the same thing by paying 3 encore on that one character.
I guess.
And you don't really want to be running this if you have a extremely strong field. I mean, like, what happens then? Do you just clock it and hope that your opponent can't, like, level 2 reverse your entire field? Or level 1 reverse your entire field? Like, do you want to hold on to this in the off chance that your opponent may be able to take out these characters? Or, like, what happens when you bounce them? Then this card's useless. And bounce is getting even more popular, right? There's too many bad scenarios for this card to be excellent. But there's too many good scenarios for this card to be bad. That's why I think it's playable. I don't think it's good, but I think it's playable.
Okay.
So basically, I would run this as a 1 or 2 of. Not the 4 of that I've seen a lot of people claim that this should be run at.
Yeah, 4 of is a bit.
No,
excessive.
1 or 2 of at most.
Okay. Yep.
That's my thoughts on it.
I guess I can see your point, but I don't know. I just don't recall anyone playing strong level 1s recently. To my memory.
You want me to start playing Vivid Green again?
No. Please, no.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on. A Child of Miracles Michelle is a level 1 cost 0, 4k power, red character with the modified and bug traits. If you do not have another character with Akari in the name, this card cannot stand during your stand phase. And when this card is reversed, if the opponent battling this was a level 1 or lower, reverse it as well.
I don't like it because of its first effect.
You don't like the fact that it can stand? Well, here's the thing, right? What do Suiciders tend to do?
They die in the first turn. I know.
Okay, so what does that first ability do?
Actually, not a big deal. Never mind.
It's not a big deal. And here's the best part, right? You have an onstage counter in the next card. We'll talk about that in a little bit. With Akari in the name. So if you want to, you can save these characters and just move this to the back row, threatening. Because there are some level 1 Suiciders that do manage to survive the turn. Very rarely, but they do happen.
Yep.
And when they do, typically they just move to the back row and wait for their next opportunity to strike.
Yep.
So having this available is not a bad idea. I think this is actually a pretty good card.
Okay.
All right, second card. This card bonds to the level 1's reverser, which is pretty good. It's on play, pay 1.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be awesome if it was Claw Bond, but who gets that nowadays? And this card is an on-stage interceptor. If a character with Michelle is front attack, you can send this to the waiting room to give that character 1,000 power until the end of the turn.
Yeah, but in this case, I don't think 1K is gonna help that much.
Here's what I think, okay? You just hit level 1, all right? Your opponent's still level 0. You throw out your level 1 Suiciders and you take out their level 0s. You also have this guy in the front row because you bonded for it. So you have 1 copy of this guy in the front row, and you have 2 other level 1 Suiciders in the front row, okay?
Yep.
Your opponent plays a couple of 1-0s to try and bait out the level 1 reversers. And you save one of them using this card's ability, because obviously 500 power is going to get reversed anyways, right? Oh no, it can't stand. Just bring it to the back row. Right? Waiting for its time to shine. I mean, like, there are other Akari cards, and we'll cover another one, but that one's in blue. So we definitely know that there will be more Akari cards.
We definitely know that Akari is going to make a husband deck, and we all know. I'd be saying this every time I do Terraforming.
Ugh.
It's a pretty good deck if you look at the synergy between the cards.
I think the support card is pretty good just for the fact that it bonds to a good card.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and another Akari. High combat ability, Hizumaru Akari. Level 2 cost 1, 7,000 power. Blue character with the modified and bug traits. When this card attacks, and the second is on your Climax zone. The second is a +2 soul, by the way, to all characters. You may pay 1 and ditch 1. If you do, all of your opponent's standing characters, set them to rest. Then choose any of your opponent's level 3 or lower characters, and that the character does not stand during your opponent's next stand phase. Then, and once you finish that ability, then choose up to 2 of your other modified characters, and they get the following ability until the end of the turn. When this card side attacks, there is no soul penalty. And of course, whenever an opponent's character that is standing is put to rest, this card gets 1,500 power. That ability is annoying.
Yeah, it's very annoying.
Yes, we have a certain Climax Grid member that really enjoys playing the I Want combo from Idolmaster.
Oh, yeah. Certain someone who isn't here, Sephra.
Yeah. But yes, he's taught me definitely the value of that ability, because essentially, in order to attack this is an 8/5.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's vanilla level, which is passable, I guess, right? But the fact that it also has an ability with a Climax combo, now, said Climax combo is a +2 soul.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact of the matter is, when you're giving a +2 soul, you typically don't want to be swinging for high points of damage unless you're either going YOLO or you're trying to end the game with a precision strike. Now,
yeah,
the ability to give your other modified characters the ability to side attack without soul reduction, I don't think I'd actually use that most of the time, because I want to be reducing my damage.
Most of the time you don't.
But I guess in the cases where you do really want to, that would be actually kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, if they come up with a level 2/1, if they show up with a 2/1 10/5 vanilla with 0 soul, right? Or no, 2/1 9/5 with...
No, just think of it easier. Just think you have him in the middle, and you have 2 level 0s at the side, and they have level 3 field. Like,
oh, no, in that case, then you're fronting.
Yeah.
You don't ever want to leave something for your opponent.
siding. Yeah, never mind. You could...
The only reason that would...
Zeros, but like...
The only reason you would want to put that on is your opponent has a level 4 or level 5 or something like that, and you really cannot side without actually having to do that. It's something weird like that.
Never mind.
Yeah. I don't think I'd use that ability quite much. It's all right. I think the card's okay. Though it's definitely more powerful for stand to rest 1,500 than anything else on that card. So I think this card won't be played, but it will be very close to playable.
Yeah. stun is somewhat okay because
Stun is okay because you can target the back row or target the
yeah,
and really if you're reversing your opponent's all of your opponent's front row anyways, at least you can
yeah,
tap your opponent's back row to make sure that it's worth it.
yeah. Well, also regarding the second ability, well, there are a lot of brainstorms that actually have to do with tap, so it's somewhat, somewhat could help a little
Of
bit.
course, I'm like that's why I said
Yeah,
this card if it's going to be played, it's going to be played for that second effect, not for its
yeah.
first effect.
Not for the first one, yeah.
All right. And by the way, by played I mean like in competitive
Yeah,
like meta
competitive.
decks. Leader of Annex 1, Komachi Shokichi. This is a level 3, cost 2, 10,000 power. Green character with the modified and bug traits. On the turn that this is played, when this card reverses your opponent's character, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, kick that reverse character to the owner's clock. When you play the Climax combo, and you discard attacks, which is Last Words, it's a 1k 1 treasure. Take the top card of your deck, put it to your stock, and this gets 3k power until the end of your opponent's next turn.
Pretty good.
I have an issue with that top deck to stock.
Top deck to stock. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so normally when you refresh your deck, you typically want to be at least a little bit compressed. For every Climax in your deck, you typically want to have 3 or less non-Climax cards per Climax in your deck. So if you're refreshing with 8, you typically want to have less than 32 cards in your deck. So the chances of hitting a Climax with that top deck is slightly higher. You're basically going through 4 cards of attack in a turn, and you're more likely to hit a Climax when it comes down to these later levels. The other problem is that you're running a treasure bar, and you already have the probability of blind stalking a Climax. And sure, maybe you'll run this at 2 or 3 because the power isn't necessarily 100% important. It's definitely powerful, but it's not 100% important. You can just reverse level 0 or level 1 if they happen to leave it out. But the fact that you're running treasures kind of means that you will have to watch for a lot of blind stalk. Not as much as the bag triggers, mind you, but it's still kind of dangerous. So you'll have
at least it goes to your hand, so...
No, the treasure one goes to the hand. Perfect. Sure.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't see very many discard options in the Terraformer set right now. So there's a risk reward thing, and the top card to deck to stock is mandatory, so you can't just skip it.
Yep.
Other than that, it's a very solid card. It's just that very slight beef with the whole top deck to stock. But
top deck to stock is not mandatory. It's actually optional.
Huh?
It's actually optional.
Is it?
Yeah, if you read the last 2 words, it says Yoi.
Oh yeah, never mind. Okay, it is optional. Okay, that's good then. It's good.
Yep. So you can add it to hand, feel the Climax combo. And if you really don't want to add that extra stock, but most people do, you can, skip it.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah. Pretty good card overall. Pretty much kick the clock. And sadly, I can't do it on both turns, but it's fucker either way.
Okay. All right. Next card is Entrusted with Hope. He's a Maru Akari. Now, this is a Kari card that we can play. For every other modified character you control, this card gets 500 power. That's all right.
Yep, I love
1065. That's pretty good. It threatens any 1/1s with a Climax and forces them to waste resources to defend a 1/1 when you paid 0 stock to be able to run them over.
Pretty good card.
Every 2% helps.
I just had to say Ellie. Just all that comes to my mind.
And then we have a 3k vanilla Earth's Future Michelle. Modified book trade, 3k. It's alright.
Not much to say, right? Yeah.
And I believe that's it for the Terraformers cards. What's your impression of it this week?
Terraformers in general, other than the level 3s, and obviously all the cockroaches, I'm not that excited about it.
Well,
there's mainly cockroaches for me.
Well, here's the thing. There's a difference between getting excited about it and just in general appreciating how good they are. I mean, like I would never play
Okay.
the set, never.
Uh,
I enjoy insects actually, but cockroaches are kind of something that I'm not too keen on. Though I'd rather have them than bed bugs,
okay, yeah.
right? But
But
with that aside, I don't think I'd ever play this set, but I do appreciate how good the bugs are. It makes not running red a possibility.
mhm.
A lot of finishers this week, though.
Yeah, I think it's close to release date, so you just sort of want to push, you know.
I guess so.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're on to the Milky Holmes TD.
Yep.
Feathers arrive! Alice and Kazumi. Level 2 cost 2, 7,500 power. Yellow character with the detective trait. Experience level 3. This card gets 1,000 power and character discard encore. And when you play the Climax, Feathers moving out, and this card is in your front row, you can search your deck for any detective character, show it to your opponent, and add it to your hand, then shuffle it. Climax combo is a 1k one-shot trigger. What is your thought on this?
I'm not that. First off, we're gonna say I'm not that familiar with multi holds, but at least know that it has to do with experience and experience swapping. Well, level swapping.
Okay. No, but I
So
guess my question here is like, what do you, because this is going to be a TD, so we have to talk about it in the
okay,
context of the
TD,
TD.
yeah.
So by itself, but by itself with this climax combo, what do you make of this card by itself
Mm, by itself,
with the climax, of
I
course?
no, not on a 2-2. I don't really think it's that good.
For what reason?
For what reason? Mainly because experience in a TD, obviously experience. I don't know if the TD will be able to get that experience in there because they're
You'd actually have
mostly
to be surprised. Experience does happen quite often in the TDs. If I recall correctly, Milky Homes have a little higher average number of level 2s and 3s.
okay. I don't remember, but in terms of TD, most people don't put level 2 and 3s, especially if you are a new player. Most people just keep them in the rating room, just because new players just do that. The second effect, I mean, sure, it's a free search, but I mean, in a TD, is there really much to search? Yeah.
You could search out this character. You could probably search out the level 3.
Yeah, but in the case of two level 3s in a TD, yeah, yeah.
Eh. Well, like I said, we have to think TD, and I think this is all right for a TD card.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying bad, but it's.
It's
I just don't
playable.
think it's playable. It's just not good in just a pure TD. But if you mix it with the Milky Home set, it will be probably much better. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on. Variety Idol Marine. This is a level 0 cost 0 2k power. Yellow character with 0 traits. If this character has the music trait, this card gets +1 soul. And when you play this card from your hand to your stage, it gets 1,500 power until the end of this turn. All right, so the gimmick of this trial deck is that some characters just don't need music. And in the series, Marine, her elements were stolen and she can't sing anymore. So it's kind of nice that there's no music trait because she can't sing anymore. But she'll get +1 soul back if she does get the music trait. So I think that's really nice. And we'll see later that there are ways to give her a music trait, but as is, it's a solid 3,500. I mean, it's pretty good for TD, right? It's playable.
Yeah, for TD, yes, but again, I'm just gonna lash out on more TD stuff. First off, traits. I don't know if there's enough of her in the TD to justify, a good card. Justify this as a good card, and mainly because some searches and some powers have to do with traits. You might lose on that.
But that typically doesn't happen in the trial deck, especially because this is part yellow.
Okay.
Just saying.
Yeah. And the first effect is, um, I don't know.
Well, you see, here's the thing, right? The card that we know that gives this card music is a level 3. So that means
Yeah.
that later on, when you draw this late in the game, this card will be a 2-soul attacker for 0 cost. That's
Yeah.
invaluable,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think this card is definitely playable in the TD. We'll see what happens in the booster set. But for now, this is definitely playable.
Mm.
And we finally have our level 3 form, just Amagi Marine. Or technically Marine.
Okay.
Level 3 costs 2, 10,000 power, yellow character, without a trait. During your turn, if this card has the music trait, this card gets 1,500 power. When you play this from hand of stage, oh, looky here, heal 1. And as an activated ability, you can rest one of your characters to give every single character on your field the music trait. And this is how you give music trait to the level 0.
Mm-hmm.
That's cute. It's really cute.
It's pretty interesting, I have to say. Yeah,
It's all right. It's definitely playable. It's the level 3 in the trial that you'll run it.
it's a healer too. So
Yeah. All right, that seems to be it.
yeah, that seems to be it. In terms of upcoming releases, there has been that one series that has been announced that I don't remember. It's
called Puyo Puyo.
Yeah, Puyo Puyo, that one. I believe it's a 3DS game. Well, it has older games.
I thought Puyo Puyo was that whole. I don't know. I was first familiarized with it in the Macintosh game Skittles.
Okay, I know it's pretty old, but I mean, in terms
It's
of
really, really old. It was also shown in Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine and in Kirby's Avalanche.
okay, yeah, I don't play many Nintendo products because I'm a non-Nintendo person.
Oh no! I just happen to know about it because I happen to be following a certain Let's Play channel that happened to cover 2 of those games, and I know one personally, so that's why I was able to say that.
Okay.
Puyo Puyo is coming out with an anime, with a set, and we've seen at least 3 colors. I forget if we've seen a 4th color.
No,
So we don't know whether there's a booster or an extra booster, but we're expecting it to be a full booster. So keep your eyes peeled.
Yep. And before I end today's podcast, I just want to say thanks to the person who gave us the translations.
Yeah, we've been actually
I saw
using
that.
a website called Otakuya. I don't think I'm pronouncing that 100% correctly. But if you want to check it out, it's basically where we've been getting most, if not all, of our translations.
Yeah.
And you can find it at Otakuya, which is OUTAKUYA.wordpress.com, and we'll provide a link in the doobly-doo. So you can check that out.
And
Other than that, I think we're all set to go. It's kind of sad that we didn't get a regional for this spring.
wait, what? We do have a regional.
In spring?
Oh no.
No.
Wait, yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
English
It's in
regional.
Toronto.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah, Toronto gets it. It's on May 3.
I thought we had one too. The White Hell by Miku. God damn it.
Yeah, we don't actually have one.
I will double check.
I
because,
actually confirmed it with the Bushiroad employee.
then why the hell did I buy English Miku? What the? Okay, now
Well
I
played.
just wasted money on buying English Miku trying to build a regional deck.
Well played. However, we still it's still possible to get the winter one. The winter one is the one that really matters. So
It's after Kantai and all this stuff.
Miku's still gonna be and I actually want to cover this in a future podcast at some point because I've seen a lot of English is gonna go down because Kantai is so overpowered and blah
It's
blah.
not exactly overpowered.
Oh my goodness,
but-
how many people are there wrong? And I'm gonna see if I can try and get in some guests involved here. Definitely one I want to invite is a YouTuber by the name of Kudo-kun. I definitely want to
him.
get him on
Okay.
for this.
We'll see.
But we'll see what happens. I definitely want to talk about the state of Japanese Weiss, the English Weiss, what's competitive, what's not, why
That's gonna
are some
be a
decks
long
winning,
podcast.
and that sort of. I want to have a sort of like a roundtable discussion of like the competitiveness of Weiss right now. But that's for another topic, and that's for another time. So until then, we will catch you later.
Wait, not yet. Not
Wait.
yet.
What?
I just want to mention
Uh-huh.
just due to time constraints, you'll notice that the video is not done in its usual format, and you will see me scrolling through cards in a really random order. So I apologize for that. I should have done that beforehand. I'm gonna apologize again because I should have done it correct more, in a formally.
It's fine as long as it's not a recurrent thing, right? I mean,
Yep. Hopefully this doesn't, recur quite often. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
so yeah, make sure to rate, comment, like, and subscribe to keep up to date. I guess until then, just keep voicing.
Yeah, keep voicing, and remember, we will get Climax screwed for you, so you will be safe out there when playing.
We get Climax screwed, so you don't have to. Is that what we're saying?
Yep, we get Climax screwed, so you don't have to. So yeah, bye.
All right, catch you later. That was the weirdest ending ever.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh wait, there's one more thing to say.
Oh.
Anyways,